J.K. Rowling, Stephen King, John Grisham, Sidney Sheldon, they have one thing in common. They have made millions from writing books. At home, Anthony C. Winkler, Trevor Rohn, Colin Channer, and Olive Sr.'s literary works are on several shelves, both locally and overseas. Whether it's academia, fiction, fact, or novel, Jamaica, with its scenic topography and spirited culture, is a perfect setting for a creative writing industry.
More Jamaicans should consider authorship, writing, and getting into the creative industry because, one, we're creative people, and two, it can be a lucrative business if we know what we're doing.
It's said Jamaica is not a reading nation, but that's not exactly true. More reading is certainly needed and continuously encouraged, but the throngs at many local literary festivals are testament to the Jamaican love for the written word. So, have you ever put pen to paper and tried to tell a story, real or imagined? If you have, it's not likely a surprise that writing, while fun, can be seriously stressful. And once you've gotten past the writer's block, getting published is yet another challenge to overcome. It's why entities like the Jamaica Intellectual Property Office, Jamaica Copy, and the Book Industry Association of Jamaica, BIAJ, have organized several support groups. There are also a number of workshops for budding authors and those interested in the literary works. One such workshop was recently conducted by the BIAJ, and the consensus was clear.
I've learned a lot. I've heard the experiences of persons who have been in the book industry for a long time.
The Book Industry Association of Jamaica decided to have a publishing workshop as part of the Kingston Book Festival Week 2012 because we want to lift the standard of publishing.
One essential point shared by experienced book industry players was that writers can choose from a myriad of areas: TVs, books, and even animation. Let's look at animation, for example. A lot of people think animation is just cartoon and fun and games, but you've heard of or seen these movies, right? Animated movies. There is a script behind the action. Imaginative writers create these characters and the words that narrate their story.
Back in the day, animation was strictly, for kids. No, that's not the case. We're seeing more and more animated content, not just in film, but in television.
Writers should consider the animation sector that is expected to be a $200 billion industry by 2015. Television is visual, but it needs a script, penned by a script writer. Locally, there is a lack of writers within the film and television industry. Jamaica's last 4 local feature films were written by directors and not screenwriters.
We say we are storytellers, and yet still, we do not have a number of film scripts and television ideas coming from the writing community here in Jamaica.
It's time for writers to think visually and picture themselves commanding the lucrative niche of television writing. As a writer, you could also consider unconventional means of publishing. Several budding writers have opted to blog. It's now the in thing, with almost everyone blogging about any and everything.
You can join the hundreds of people who produce the book just by blogging. They've blogged and blogged and blogged until they've got to a point where they have enough material, or a publisher comes along and says, hey, I'd love to publish your material in book form.
If you're a writer for TV, books, animation, or blogging, one thing is important.
It all comes back to the story. It all comes back to the content itself.
Here are some advice for writers. The first script is rarely the final script.
You have to understand that what you write at first is usually crap.
Get your work edited.
No matter how good you think it is, at the end of the day, somebody needs to look it over and to make the corrections and to do the tweaks.
Conflict is what is going to hold you and keep you glued.
Simplicity is best. Avoid incorrect use of idioms and do not mix the American and British style of spelling. Select one. Understand the laws of copyright, trademark, and fair dealings. Do the math. How much does it cost to print 1,000 units of books versus 10,000 units? Go ye therefore and write. Dig into your creative soul. Start writing and give it all your energy.